Hi, it's Debs De Vries again, your midlife menopause mentor, resident shaman, uh, crone. Oh, I'm not keen on crone. I just think wise elder is absolutely fine. And I'm here, of course, for the wonderful Eden Room, who have, with their super prescience, thought about putting together something to help you prepare for Beltane, whether you're a solo practitioner of natural magic, whether you just want to bring more ceremony and color into your life, whether you're intrigued by the idea of performing ritual at home, non-denominational ritual. It doesn't matter. You just want to add some fun to May Day. You're in the right place. So there's already been one video that I've made which talks about Beltane and talks about why Beltane can fire you up. And this time I want to bring it a little bit more locally. I want to talk about the value of preparing for ceremony. So the word value itself goes to self-worth. So what we value, we give attention to. So when we prepare to go into ceremony, actually we're giving attention to ourselves. And we're taking time away from the normal distractions of life. This isn't just a good thing in terms of gaining a bit of perspective or a bit of time. It also, for me, as a practitioner of natural magic for most of my life, has taught me the value of creating a channel of protection. I don't mean defense, I mean a focus and protection, so that my energy can sit within there and I learn, and ceremony and ritual have taught me this, what I focus on grows. And what I focus on effectively is me in collaboration with the natural forces of life. So the value of preparing for ceremony in itself becomes a teaching in the value of deciding what you want to do and focusing on it. Now, in the 80s, I mean the 1980s and 90s, multitasking was like such a cool thing. And of course, girls could do it and boys couldn't apparently. But brain scans and lots and lots of different more modern techniques have taught us that actually multitasking isn't really a great thing. It's just a bit less attention to a greater number of things, and actually going in and out very quickly of activities is wasteful on time, because it takes a certain amount of time to get back into the activity. Now, I've got a very flitty sort of Mercury mind. I know the pain of that. Everything looks interesting. And having been in ceremony to myself, ceremony to the land, ceremony to people, has taught me this value of concentrating, literally concentrating my energy. So let's imagine that you want to do something on the 1st of May, and I hope that you do. I really, really hope that you do. Then the value in preparing for it will be for, let's say you want to prepare 3 or 4 days ahead. And in the next video, I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do, simple, no-cost things, stuff you probably have around you. But once you start gathering the props, so it's a little bit like a stage play as well, you are already setting your intent. And we notice at these times that when we look for something or we want something, it's usually available. It's usually within our sphere of influence. Now, I know that when I had dogs, if I ever forgot a poo bag and I just stood still and looked carefully, I would find something. I mean, it might be just an old thrown away polythene bag, or it might be a piece of newspaper. And I'm not minimizing this. I know that if I stand still and focus, what I want is usually available in some way. It could be a thought form, it could be an actual artifact. And so being in ceremony to our lives, which is what ceremony and ritual also teaches, helps us as we prepare for ceremony to understand the power within us and to walk towards collaboration with, if you like, a greater power in a way that is prepared to receive it. Because as we prepare for ritual and ceremony, we're actually saying, I want to expand. I want to be more. And why wouldn't we? It's not greed, it's that our soul is vast and there is always more, because the universal energy flows throughout the whole of the cosmos are busy creating more. And we are, at one level, a quantum level, we are a huge collection of trillions of cells that have an atomic substrata that wants to expand. Expansion in and of itself means that we have to reach a limit, and there can be an explosion of energy at that limit. So one way to learn to do this is to be in ceremony regularly, so that you get used to, I've got used to the fact that once I'm set for ceremony, and I always do ceremony twice a month, at least of different sorts, I know that in the run up to that, particularly the last 3 days, 3 is a magic number, I will get some intensity. I will get things that need dealing with. I will get bouncy feelings in my solar plexus. Something will happen that asks me to come in and master that, to be with that, to be present to it. So as we develop a way of being in ceremony, and say Beltane's a perfect example for us to be practicing with now, we also, or I've found that I have been able to be in ceremony to myself, maybe even during the day, taking 10 minutes to think about, what do I really want at 4 o'clock, do I want some peace? Do I want a cup of tea? And preparing for that in a mindful way. Small though it seems, I'm permanently saying, I'm going to focus and concentrate my energy. I'm going to hold it steady because I'm walking towards this thing. And as I do that, I'm preparing to receive more. And the moment you step into the ceremony, you've arrived at that point of expansion. So I hope that's given you a flavor, from my perspective as a priestess, a shaman, and as a long-time practitioner of what I call natural magic, that we're doing something that is in service both to us, and particularly in these pagan festivals, Celtic traditions, we're in service to the land and the elements which have made and created us. So this coming together in a mindful way is bigger than the final celebration. So I'm going to make one more video. I'm going to offer you 5 simple and beautiful ideas for being in ceremony. Once you've set your intent and you've chosen whichever one or ones appeal to you, make sure you've got a run-in of about at least 3 days to plan it, to call in the people you want, to set a sacred space, and I'll talk about that in the next video. So, Beltane, blessings from Debs De Vries and the Eden Room.